A Bookworm's Journey in the Cardinal World. Tensura X Ascendance of a Bookworm by Galaxycharmer123. 4 Consequences Rimuru's POV. I was preparing to leave Ingratia. My time with the students at Freedom Academy had come to an end, and as I made my way outside, all the students gathered to bid me farewell. Promise us you'll visit again, Sensei. I promise, Ryota. But you have to promise me that you'll listen to your new teacher. I'll be checking in regularly. Of course, Sensei, we promise. Good, now let me go, I chuckled as they clung to me. However, Chloe continued to hold on, her grip firm. Here, Chloe, I said, handing her a copy of Shizu's mask. Keep this safe for me. But this is Shizu-sensei's mask. Chloe's eyes widened, but she nodded earnestly. I'll keep it safe, Sensei. With that, I left. Riding on Ranga. We hadn't gone far when Soy appeared, informing me of a disturbance in town. I remembered my promise to the children and steeled myself for the journey ahead. Suddenly, I felt an overwhelming weakness. Notice, Holy Field anti-magic barrier has encompassed the area. Resist, I commanded, struggling to maintain my strength. Staggering towards a tree, I spotted one of Soei's clones, bloodied and on the verge of collapse. Before I could speak, the clone disintegrated into dust. Resistance successful. Access to non-magical skills remains. Magic-based skills are currently unusable. Damn, that's the best I could manage. I heard footsteps approaching from behind and turned to see a woman, her short black hair framing her face, and red crosses adorning her armor under a white coat. She wore bracers and magisteel boots that reached up to her knees. Please move, I said firmly. I have urgent matters to attend to. You should be more concerned about your own life right now, she replied coldly. You're Hinata, right? Shizu-san asked me to look after you. Please step aside. I don't have much time. You killed her, Hinata accused, her tone sharp and cutting. Why would you honor a promise to her? She drew her sword, holding it parallel to her shoulder line. I slowly drew my own sword. She died in front of me, Hinata. She entrusted her wishes to me, including taking care of those children. Our blades clashed, but it was clear that I was outclassed, especially with the barrier sapping my strength. Please, Hinata, I pleaded. My town is in danger. I know, she replied, her voice icy. You should be more worried about yourself now than about your townspeople. Wait, you sent knights to my city without provocation? Why? The doctrines of Luminism state that all monsters are evil and must be eradicated. I'm here to fulfill that mandate. Something inside me snapped. She had already struck me 5 times. 2 more would be the end of me, but I didn't care anymore. Great Sage, is there a way to defeat her? Notice. A path with a 50% success rate has been identified. Entering battle mode increases the success rate to 70%. Will you accept? YN. Yes. My eyes glowed red as I entered battle mode. I leapt at Hinata, surprising her with my sudden change in tactics. I created a clone of myself, draining a significant amount of magicules, but it was necessary. Utilizing all my remaining skills, I finally managed to put her on the defensive. I don't want to hurt a student of Shizu-san, Hinata. Please, move aside. I made a promise to save a girl named Mine who's in danger, and I intend to keep it. You think I'll let you pass? She sneered. One more strike, and you're dead. Your town is likely in ruins by now. I severed the hand holding her sword and then slashed her body in half. She coughed up blood, but her determined gaze never wavered. I prepared to knock her out, silently asking for Shizu-san's forgiveness, when a voice called out. Wait, don't kill her. Why should I listen to you? She ordered her knights to massacre my city and tried to kill me. Well, for starters, I'm much stronger than you, the voice replied, and I have something you want. A portal opened, revealing a woman with heterochromatic eyes, a Gothic-style dress, and silver hair. Beside her stood a man in priestly robes. Why are you here, Luminus-sama? Hinata asked, her voice trembling with both respect and fear. Stop talking, Hinata, Luminus snapped. I came to save you after you foolishly attacked without understanding the situation. I warned you before, your stubbornness would land you in trouble. Hinata looked down in shame as Luminus approached me. Hello, I'm Demon Lord Luminus, and this is Roy, the proxy emperor of the Holy Empire Ruberius. I possess the soul of mine, who sacrificed herself to save a pink-haired Kijin and her family. I understand you want to save her. In exchange for Hinata's life, I'll give you mine soul. Fine, I accept, I said, taking the soul. But know this. Every holy knight who attacked my city will die, and I expect you not to interfere with my affairs again. I only wanted to create a city where every race could live in peace, but now I'm having doubts because of what your knights did. I understand, Luminus replied, her tone serious. I glanced at Hinata. I never intended to kill you, Hinata. At most, I would have severed your arm. I hope you'll learn to listen to others more. She remained silent, her shame evident. Leaving the barrier, I hunted down and eliminated the remaining holy knights before racing back to Tempest at breakneck speed. Please. I hope I'm not too late. When I arrived, I found a barrier surrounding the city. Soy emerged to brief me on what had transpired. About 100 innocent residents had been killed, but mine, whose soul I now held, had intervened to prevent further casualties. We were attacked by Farmus and Ehrenfest, though in Ehrenfest's case, the order didn't come from the ruler but from a rogue noble with significant political power. The delegation from Ehrenfest was under house arrest, though they were treated well despite their duchy being the aggressor, due to their efforts to stop the attacks. Where are they now? I asked. At the Central Hotel, in the rooms we prepared for their arrival. All right. I'll evaluate the situation and then meet with them. Soy, stay in my shadow and take this. I handed him a sticky steel thread for communication within the barrier. With this, we'll always be connected, no matter the circumstances. Now, let's go. As you wish, my lord. Tuli's Pov 3 days had passed since mine's death, and I was still in mourning. My sister had sacrificed herself to protect us from the knights who attacked. Mother was a mess, unable to look up, trapped in denial. The head priest and Benno carried a somber air, their usual vigor subdued. I decided to ask when we could return to Ehrenfest to bury mine's body. Head priest, may I ask a question? Ask, he replied without even lifting his gaze. When can we go back to bury my sister? I want to hold her funeral so that her soul may find peace in Luminus Sama's embrace. We can only leave when they allow it, he answered gravely. A foolish noble ordered an attack on Tempest, targeting non-combatants. Many citizens have died, though mine managed to stop further bloodshed. I can't imagine Lord Rimuru letting us go without repercussions. We could be held for ransom or, at worst, executed. The head priest's tone was heavy with resignation, as if he had already considered all the possible scenarios and these were the most probable. Then can you please negotiate with him to conduct the funeral here? According to our teachings, the soul cannot find peace without a proper funeral, and I want my sister to achieve salvation. Also, can we send letters back home? I need to inform my father about mine's death. I'll see what I can do. Suddenly, the door opened, and Benimaru, the red-haired Kijin, entered. Our Lord will speak with you shortly after he finishes his meeting. In the meantime, you are allowed to contact your home by sending letters or by any other means. Thank you for your consideration. I couldn't stop myself and rushed towards him. Wait, Benimaru-sama, I have a request. Can you please allow us to conduct a funeral here so that her soul may rest in peace? The head priest gave me a hard glare, but Benimaru looked at me with sympathy. You can ask Rimuru-sama about this, but I think he has good news for all of you regarding mine. My mother immediately looked up, her eyes pleading. Can you bring my daughter back? Please tell me you can. Ask Lord Rimuru about this. He holds your daughter's soul and will do everything he can to bring her back to life. Thank you, Benimaru-sama. Thank you. I thanked him profusely, feeling a glimmer of hope. We really had a chance to bring her back. What can I do to help? I will do anything to bring her back, I asked, determination burning in my eyes. He gave me a knowing look. Ask Lord Rimuru for the details. Benimaru's kindness and willingness to consider our request surprised me. Despite our duchy essentially declaring war on his nation without provocation, he still showed compassion. Rimuru-sama truly is a merciful leader, and should fate permit, I will return the favor one way or another. He has my deepest respect. Mine's Pav, we go back to the time after mine was killed. Where am I? Everything around me was so bright, a void of blinding white. But when I squinted, it turned into a deep blackness. I didn't understand what was happening. Wait, hadn't I died? I remember trying to save that pink-haired Kijin. I hoped it worked, though I had no way of knowing now. The last time I died, I was reincarnated. Would that happen again? Would it be yet another new world? I wondered. As I lifted my hand to shield my eyes, I noticed something odd. My hand kept changing. One moment, it looked like mine's, then it shifted to Urano's, and then, unsettlingly, it became a charred lump with no hand at all. I looked down and realized my whole body was doing this, switching between the three forms sporadically. Wherever I was, it was certainly not a physical place. As I wandered through the void, memories of my life started appearing around me, but whenever I reached out to them, they remained just out of reach. It was infuriating. I just wanted to touch my mother, to see my sister, but I couldn't. Slowly, the environment around me began to shift and change. I kept thinking about my family, how much trouble I had caused them after I first reincarnated in this world. The thought brought tears to my eyes. I wanted to ask for their forgiveness for all the pain I had caused them and for failing my new family and myself a second time. This was the second time I felt this pain, the first being when I died from the bookshelf falling on me. I wanted to confess all my sins and be reborn again so I could beg for their forgiveness. As I delved deeper into the inky blackness of the void, I suddenly began to fall. Around me, brilliant lights started to shine, and I found myself in a desert valley with a large city in the distance, nestled around a mountain. At the peak of the mountain was a sanctum, something I had seen depicted many times in the Bible of our cathedral. I began walking towards it, as fast as my legs could carry me. The closer I got, the more I realized just how large the sanctum was. I climbed the steps with care, marveling at the majesty and structure of the place. Inside, I found a shimmering light mixed with a foreboding darkness, but I stepped in regardless. I had never seen the inside of the sanctum depicted in our texts. Was this really what it looked like? As I walked, I saw a throne in the distance and approached it. As I neared the throne, its intricate design and ornate religious symbols became apparent, though my constantly changing height made it difficult to see everything clearly. Then, I saw her. A woman with silver hair, pearl-white skin, a gothic skirt, and two heterochromatic eyes. Her left eye was blue, and her right eye was red. She was beautifully divine, like a god. I couldn't help but stare at her. "Who are you?" I finally asked. She looked up and carefully inspected every bit of me, right down to my soul. "Do you really need to ask that?" she replied, her tone blunt. Then, suddenly, I remembered my final wish to Luminus-sama, to grant me the power to protect my friends and family. Luminus-sama. All three of my voices echoed as they trailed off. Now I knew who she was. But why was I here? She certainly wasn't what I was expecting. She chuckled lightly, seeming to enjoy my confusion. She was in front of me in an instant, softly caressing my cheek. Her hand felt cold, like she had no pulse. Era, such a beautiful young woman. And such a cute young girl, all in the same mind. But that sorry state right before your death. It's truly pitiful, she teased. I didn't understand what she meant or what she wanted. Her behavior was too outlandish for me. I tried to back away, but she tightly grasped my wrist and led me to a small room. She guided me to a table and sat me down. After I had calmed a little, I asked, "Where are we?" My fear was starting to grow. I hadn't reincarnated, so wherever I was couldn't be good. She stared into my eyes for a moment, then looked away, gently touching a flower petal. "I suppose that's a better question, though I don't think you'll like the answer," she said, trailing off as if waiting for me to confirm. I nodded lightly, thinking about why and how I could have ended up here. I died, and now I am here. "I need to know," I said, my thoughts racing. She clasped our fingers together as she held my hand on the table and began to speak. "Before you died, you made a wish to me. You desperately pleaded for the power to protect your loved ones. I granted your wish, and that's why you said my name. You died in my name," she explained casually, though her face was more serious than before. "So, currently, you're just a soul that I'm holding on to. Where we are is inside our minds, though this place is more mine than yours now." My mind was racing. Why would a god keep my soul after I died in her name? Why wasn't I in an afterlife or something? "What are you?" I asked, feeling that this question held the answer. She smiled, willing to be honest. "Era, finally getting to the right place, I see," she teased before getting serious again. "It's true that I am the god, Luminus, but I am also someone else. I am the demon Lord Luminus Valentine, the Queen of Nightmares, she stated boldly, then chuckled at my shocked expression. I was immediately terrified, wanting to run away, but there was no way. I was just a soul she was holding onto, and escaping was impossible. I shivered where I sat. She leaned in closer, caressing my cheek again, and stared deeply into my eyes. While I'd love to keep you, I doubt I can get away with that for long. That slime will find you one way or another, she whispered, almost into my ear as her face passed mine. So, I plan to give you to him, with a few conditions. I was shivering harder now. The slime? Do you mean Rimuru? Why would you give me to him? She chuckled lightly. That slime will do everything in his power to bring you back, I know he will. He promised to bring you back, and from certain sources, I know that he keeps his promises. Her words calmed me down, but I still had questions. What are the conditions? The conditions are for Rimuru, not you. I will exchange your soul for his promise to spare Hinata, who foolishly declared war on him. Suddenly, I remembered the knights of Farmus and Ehrenfest who had attacked my family, and anger rose within me. Was the church involved as well? I asked, seething. She chuckled and answered, yes, though I suppose they will be killed now. Rimuru is terribly angry and I will not stop him. If I move, other demon lords may notice and this will turn into an even bigger mess. Why didn't you stop them? I had no idea that the people would actually commit a massacre. I came to know only recently and decided to intervene. I sat back down, my anger relaxed. So you will hand me to Rimuru, and he will revive me later. Yes, but I want a soul contract from you that you will always maintain contact with me and not divulge my demon lord identity to anyone, including Rimuru. If he asks, tell him that I only found you after you prayed to me with immense devotion and that I was attracted enough to see what was going on. If not, I will destroy your soul now, she said in an icy manner. I flinched and quickly accepted the offer, after which I felt sleepy and went to sleep.